The eviction notice felt like ice in Tamara Johnson's trembling hands. 3 months behind on rent. Final notice. Vacate within 7 days. The words blurred as tears filled her brown eyes. Standing in the empty bakery at 9 p.m., the ovens finally cool after another day of barely breaking even. Mama? Tamara quickly wiped her face, but not quickly enough. Her 8-year-old daughter Sophia stood in the doorway of the kitchen, her purple backpack still on her shoulders, those intelligent dark eyes taking in everything. The child was too perceptive, too aware of adult problems that shouldn't touch her yet. It's okay, baby. Mama's just tired. The lie tasted bitter. Tamara folded the notice and shoved it into her apron pocket, but Sophia had already seen it. Had already understood. Are we losing the bakery? Sophia's voice was small. Tamara couldn't answer. Her throat closed up. This bakery was everything. Her late mother's dream, passed down with recipes written in fading ink, with love baked into every measurement. When Mama died 2 years ago, Tamara had promised to keep it alive. When Sophia's father walked out shortly after, claiming he couldn't handle the responsibility of fatherhood, Tamara had poured everything into these 4 walls. The bakery was supposed to save them. Instead, it was drowning them. Big box stores and trendy cafes had slowly stolen her customers. Her prices couldn't compete. Her marketing was non-existent. She was a baker, not a businesswoman, and the gap between those two things was swallowing her whole. We'll figure something out, Tamara finally managed, pulling Sophia into a hug. The child's hair smelled like the vanilla extract that permeated every corner of the shop. We always do. But even as she said it, Tamara didn't believe it. Her savings account had $17. Her credit cards were maxed. Her sister in Atlanta had offered them a place to stay, but that meant admitting defeat. That meant leaving Portland, leaving Mama's bakery, leaving the only home Sophia had ever known. The bell above the door chimed. Tamara's head snapped up. It was past closing time. She'd forgotten to lock the door after the last customer left an hour ago. A man stepped inside, and Tamara's first thought was that he looked expensive. Everything about him screamed money, from his perfectly tailored charcoal suit to the watch on his wrist that probably cost more than her annual rent. He was white, maybe in his late 30s, with dark hair starting to show distinguished gray at the temples. His blue eyes scanned the bakery with an expression Tamara couldn't quite read. "I'm sorry we're closed," Tamara said, trying to keep her voice steady. She stepped slightly in front of Sophia, an instinctive protective gesture. "I can see that." His voice was deep, educated. "But I saw the lights on. I was hoping to buy whatever you have left." Tamara gestured to the nearly empty display case. 3 cupcakes sat lonely on the glass shelf. Red velvet, her specialty. The recipe that had won her mother a local baking competition 15 years ago. "Those 3 cupcakes are all I have," Tamara said. "You can have them. $5. The man approached the counter, studying the cupcakes with surprising intensity. Then his eyes lifted to the walls, taking in the faded photos of her mother, the handwritten menu board, the worn but clean tiles. His gaze lingered on Sophia, who was watching him with open curiosity. "You speak English," he said to Sophia, his tone conversational. "Yes, sir," Sophia replied politely. "Do you speak any other languages?" Sophia glanced at her mother, then nodded. "German. My grandmother taught me before she died. She was born in Stuttgart." Something shifted in the man's expression. Interest. Sharp and sudden. "Your grandmother taught you German? How well do you speak it?" "Fließend," Sophia answered. "Fluently." The man's eyebrows rose. He pulled out his wallet, and Tamara tensed, expecting him to pay for the cupcakes and leave. Instead, he pulled out a thick stack of bills. Hundreds. Many of them. "I'll make you a deal," he said, looking directly at Sophia. "If you can sell me those 3 cupcakes entirely in German, proper sentences, correct grammar, I'll pay you $100,000. The world tilted. Tamara grabbed the counter for support. "Excuse me?" "You heard me." The man's expression was serious, no trace of mockery or cruelty. $100,000 if your daughter can conduct a full sales transaction in fluent German. If she can't, I'll pay the $5 and leave. Tamara's mind raced. This had to be a joke. Some cruel prank. People didn't just walk into failing bakeries and offer life-changing money for speaking a language. But the bills in his hand looked real. His expression looked real. "Why?" The word came out as barely a whisper. "Because I can," he said simply. "Because I want to see if she really is fluent. And because something tells me you need this." His eyes had caught the corner of the eviction notice sticking out of Tamara's apron pocket. She shoved it deeper, her cheeks burning. Sophia tugged her mother's sleeve. "Mama, can I try?" Every instinct screamed that this was wrong, that no stranger offered this kind of money without strings attached, that accepting would mean owing something terrible. But Tamara looked at her daughter's hopeful face, thought about the eviction notice, about her mother's legacy crumbling, about Sophia's school and friends and stability. "Okay," Tamara heard herself say. "Okay, baby. You can try." Sophia straightened her shoulders, suddenly looking older than 8 years old. She stepped up to the counter like she'd done this 1,000 times, clearing her throat professionally. "Guten Abend, mein Herr," Sophia began, her accent flawless. "Good evening, sir. Willkommen in der Johnson Bäckerei. We can ich Ihnen gut helfen?" The man's face transformed with genuine surprise and pleasure. "Guten Abend. Ich hat gern die drei cupcakes dort bit." For the next 5 minutes, Tamara watched in stunned silence as her 8-year-old daughter conducted a complete sales transaction in German. Sophia described the cupcakes, their ingredients, the history of the recipe. She asked if he wanted them boxed or bagged. She calculated the change in German numbers, even though the man insisted she keep it all. She thanked him for his business and invited him to return soon, all in flowing, perfect German that would have made her grandmother weep with pride. When Sophia finished, the man was smiling. A real smile that reached his eyes and made him look younger, more human. "Ausgezeichnet," he said. "Excellent." Then he switched back to English. "You're truly fluent. That's remarkable." He placed the stack of bills on the counter. Tamara stared at it, unable to move. $100,000. It couldn't be real. "Count it," the man said gently. "It's all there. No strings, no contracts, no conditions. A deal is a deal." Tamara's hands shook as she picked up the bills. Her fingers could barely hold them. She counted once, twice, 3 times. $100,000 in cash. Real money. Enough to pay the back rent, pay the suppliers, fix the broken oven, hire help, save the bakery, save everything. "I don't understand," Tamara whispered, tears streaming down her face now. "Why would you do this?" The man picked up the box of cupcakes Sophia had carefully packaged. "Because your daughter impressed me. Because talent should be rewarded. And because I know what it's like to watch a legacy die for lack of resources." He paused at the door, looking back. "My name is Vincent Harper. I own Harper Technologies downtown. If you're interested, I'd like to talk to you tomorrow about investing in this bakery properly. Not charity. Business. I think you have something special here, Mrs. Johnson." "Miss," Tamara corrected automatically. "Miss Johnson." Something flickered in Vincent's eyes. "Miss Johnson. I'll come by at 10 tomorrow morning if that works for you. In the meantime, pay your rent. Save your bakery. And tell your daughter she earned every penny of this." He left, the bell chiming softly behind him. Tamara stood frozen, clutching $100,000, unable to process what had just happened. Sophia tugged her sleeve again. "Mama? Are we going to be okay now?" Tamara dropped to her knees, pulling her daughter into a fierce hug, sobbing openly now. "Yes, baby. Yes, we're going to be okay." For the first time in 2 years, Tamara believed it. Have you ever witnessed a moment that changed everything? What would you do if a stranger offered to save your dream? Drop a comment below and subscribe to follow Tamara and Sophia's journey. Will Vincent's offer be the miracle they need, or is there more to his story? Tamara didn't sleep that night. She sat at her small kitchen table in the apartment above the bakery, the stack of bills in front of her, counting it again and again. $100,000. It never changed. The money was real. Sophia had fallen asleep easily, exhausted from the emotional day, but Tamara couldn't shut her mind off. Questions circled endlessly. Who was Vincent Harper really? Why had he walked into her failing bakery at closing time? Why had he offered such an absurd amount of money for 3 cupcakes? What did he want in return? By 6 a.m., Tamara gave up on sleep. She showered, dressed in her nicest jeans and a bright red blouse, and headed downstairs to the bakery. If Vincent Harper was coming at 10, she wanted the place spotless. She wanted him to see the potential, not just the decay. She scrubbed counters until they gleamed. She swept and mopped the floors. She organized the shelves and polished the display case. She even climbed a ladder to dust the high corners and replace the burnt-out bulb over the door. By 9, the bakery looked better than it had in months. Then she started baking. Red velvet cupcakes, lemon bars, chocolate chip cookies, cinnamon rolls. The familiar rhythm calmed her racing thoughts. Flour and sugar and butter transformed into something beautiful under her hands. This was what she knew. This was what she was good at. At 9:45, Sophia came downstairs in her school uniform, a bright green dress with white collar. It smells amazing, Mama. Help me set these out? Tamara asked. Together they arranged the fresh pastries in the display case. For the first time in weeks it looked full, abundant, inviting. Tamara stepped back and felt a flicker of pride. At exactly 10 a.m. Vincent Harper walked through the door. He looked different in daylight, less intimidating. He wore dark jeans and a blue button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up, no tie. His hair was slightly messy, like he'd been running his hands through it. He carried a leather bag over one shoulder and held 2 disposable coffee cups. "Good morning," he said, offering one of the cups to Tamara. "Black coffee. I should have asked how you take it, but I figured we could start simple." Tamara accepted the cup cautiously. "Thank you." Vincent's eyes swept the bakery, taking in the changes since last night. "You've been busy." "I wanted you to see it properly," Tamara admitted. "Not just the mess it was yesterday." "It wasn't a mess yesterday. It was honest." Vincent gestured to the display case. "And this looks incredible. Did you make all of this morning?" Tamara nodded. Sophia bounced forward. "My mama is the best baker in Portland." Vincent smiled at her. "Guten Morgen, Sophia." "Guten Morgen, Herr Harper," Sophia replied, grinning. "I like her confidence," Vincent said to Tamara. "You're raising her right." Something in Tamara's chest loosened slightly. She gestured to the small table by the window. "Should we sit?" They settled in the chairs, Sophia hovering nearby until Tamara gently told her to go work on her homework upstairs. The child hesitated, clearly wanting to stay but obeyed. Once they were alone, Vincent pulled a folder from his bag. "I meant what I said last night. I want to invest in your bakery. Not out of pity. I don't do charity. This would be a business arrangement." "I don't understand why," Tamara said bluntly. "You don't know me. You don't know anything about this place except that it's failing. I know your daughter speaks fluent German at 8 years old, which means you or someone in your family valued education enough to teach her. I know you're still here fighting to keep this place alive instead of giving up. I know the quality of what you bake. I ate those cupcakes last night and they were exceptional. And I know that sometimes good people with good products fail simply because they lack resources and knowledge, not because they lack talent." Tamara wanted to argue to maintain her skepticism, but his words rang true. "What exactly are you proposing?" Vincent opened the folder. "I did some research last night. Your mother, Grace Johnson, opened this bakery 23 years ago. She was known for traditional Southern recipes with a twist. She won several local competitions. When she died, you took over, but you were already a single mother working 2 jobs. You've been trying to run this place on determination alone, and it's not enough." Hearing her life summarized so clinically should have felt invasive. Instead, it felt like being seen. Like someone finally understood the impossible weight she'd been carrying. "What I'm proposing is a partnership," Vincent continued. "I invest capital to cover your debts, renovate the space, update equipment, and fund a proper marketing campaign. In return, I take a 30% stake in the business. You maintain full creative control over recipes and daily operations. I provide business expertise, connections, and funding." Tamara's hands tightened around her coffee cup. 30%? That's a lot. "It's fair," Vincent countered. "Without intervention, this place closes in a week. With intervention, it has a real chance at success. I'm taking on significant financial risk. But I believe in the potential here." "Why?" Tamara asked again. "You're a tech entrepreneur. What do you care about a failing bakery in a struggling neighborhood?" Vincent was quiet for a long moment. His fingers traced the rim of his coffee cup. When he spoke, his voice was softer. "My mother died when I was 12. Cancer. She was a teacher, worked 2 jobs to support me and my younger sister after my father left. She never had enough. Enough money, enough time, enough help. She worked herself to death, literally. I built my company in her memory, but I've spent the last 15 years asking myself what the point of wealth is if I don't use it to help people who remind me of her." The raw honesty in his words cracked something open in Tamara's chest. "I'm sorry about your mother." "I'm sorry about yours," Vincent replied. "And I'm sorry about Sophia's father. I saw the records. He hasn't paid child support in 3 years." Tamara's jaw tightened. "That's none of your business." "You're right. I apologize." Vincent held up his hands. "I overstepped. I just wanted you to know that I understand single parenthood is impossibly hard. And I respect what you're doing." Tamara studied him. Really looked at him. The expensive clothes couldn't hide the tired lines around his eyes, the tension in his shoulders. He carried his own burdens. His own losses. What happens if I say yes and it fails anyway? Tamara asked quietly. Then it fails. I take the financial loss. You don't owe me anything personally. The business arrangement ends. Vincent leaned forward. But I don't think it will fail. I think with proper support, this bakery could become something special. A community anchor. Maybe even a small chain eventually. A chain. The idea was dizzying. Tamara had spent 2 years just trying to keep the doors open. The thought of expanding felt like fantasy. I need to think about it, Tamara said. Of course. Vincent closed the folder. Take your time. But the eviction stands if you don't act quickly. I can pay the back rent now. Thanks to you. Then do that today, Vincent advised. Secure your immediate future. Then decide about the partnership. He stood to leave, but Tamara found herself standing too. Vincent? He turned back. Why did you really come here last night? The truth. Vincent smiled slightly. The truth? I was having the worst day of my professional life. A major deal fell through. I walked out of my office needing air, needing to remember why I started my company in the first place. I saw your bakery lights on and remembered my mother used to take me to a place like this when I was Sophia's age. I came in planning to buy whatever you had and eat it in my car. Then I saw you crying. Saw your daughter trying to be brave. And something in me just broke open. Tamara felt tears prick her eyes again. You're either the kindest person I've ever met or the best liar. I hope I'm the first, Vincent said quietly. After he left, Tamara stood in the empty bakery for a long time. Then she went upstairs, where Sophia was supposed to be doing homework but was clearly listening at the top of the stairs. What do you think, baby? Tamara asked. Should Mama trust Mr. Harper? Sophia came down and took her mother's hand. Grandma used to say that when someone offers help, you say thank you and you take it. She said pride is expensive and we can't afford it. Tamara laughed, a broken sound. Grandma was a wise woman. So are you, Mama? Sophia said seriously. And I think Mr. Harper has sad eyes like ours. I think he needs us as much as we need him. Out of the mouths of babes. Tamara hugged her daughter tight. That afternoon, Tamara paid 3 months back rent in cash. Her landlord nearly fainted. Then she called Vincent Harper's office and left a message. I accept your offer. Let's save this bakery together. 2 hours later, Vincent called back. She could hear the smile in his voice. I'll have my lawyers draw up the partnership papers. Welcome to the team, Tamara. For the first time in 2 years, Tamara felt something dangerous blooming in her chest. Oh. The renovation started 3 days later. Vincent arrived at 7 a.m. with a construction crew, an interior designer named Patricia, and enough energy to power the entire block. Tamara watched from behind the counter as strangers measured her mother's bakery, pointing and nodding and taking notes. This feels overwhelming, Tamara admitted to Vincent. He handed her a hard hat. It's supposed to. Change is always overwhelming. But you're not doing it alone this time. The plan was ambitious. New ovens, new display cases, expanded seating area, fresh paint, updated flooring, and a complete kitchen reorganization. Patricia showed Tamara digital renderings that looked like a magazine spread. Soft cream walls, vintage Edison lighting, restored brick accents, and modern equipment hidden behind charming facades. It's beautiful, Tamara whispered. But it doesn't look like Mama's bakery anymore. Patricia, a black woman in her 50s with natural silver locks and a warm smile, squeezed Tamara's shoulder. Baby, we're keeping everything that matters. Your Mama's photos are staying on that wall. Her handwritten recipes are getting framed. Her story is the heart of this place. We're just giving it a stronger body. The bakery closed for 2 weeks for renovations. Tamara used the time to experiment with new recipes in her apartment kitchen. Vincent stopped by every evening to taste test. He'd roll up his sleeves and sit at her tiny table, trying lemon lavender cookies, spicy chocolate brownies, and maple bacon cupcakes with the seriousness of a professional critic. This one, he said, holding up a bourbon pecan tart. This is dangerous. I could eat the entire pan. Then it goes on the menu, Tamara decided, making notes. Sophia loved having Vincent around. She'd teach him German phrases while he helped with her math homework. He was patient with her endless questions, never talking down to her, always treating her observations seriously. One evening Sophia asked, Mr. Vincent, why don't you have kids? Sophia, Tamara scolded, but Vincent waved her off. It's okay. That's a fair question. He set down his fork. I never found the right person to build a family with. I was too busy building my business. Now I'm in my late 30s wondering if I missed my chance. You're not that old, Sophia said matter-of-factly. And my mama is really smart and pretty. You should take her on a date. Tamara nearly choked on her coffee. Sophia Grace Johnson. Vincent's eyes met Tamara's across the table. Something electric passed between them. He didn't laugh or brush it off. Your daughter might be onto something. Tamara's heart hammered. Vincent, you don't have to. I know I don't have to. I want to. His voice was steady, sincere. When this renovation is done and the bakery reopens, would you have dinner with me? A real date, not a business meeting. Every rational part of Tamara wanted to say no. This was her business partner. This could complicate everything. But the lonely part of her, the part that had been numb since Sophia's father left, suddenly felt awake. Okay, she heard herself say. Yes, I'd like that. Sophia clapped her hands. I knew it. I told Grandma Grace in my prayers that you needed someone nice. Tamara pulled her daughter close, blinking back tears. This child who had been through so much, who had watched her mother struggle and cry and barely survive, still believed in love. Still believed in happy endings. The 2 weeks passed in a blur of sawdust and paint fumes and possibility. Vincent was there every day, not just overseeing but actually working. He painted walls alongside the crew. He assembled furniture. He scrubbed grout. His expensive clothes got covered in dust and he didn't care. You don't have to do manual labor, Tamara told him. You're the investor. I'm also your partner, Vincent corrected. Partners show up. They do the work. Tamara found herself watching him when he wasn't looking. The way his muscles flexed under his t-shirt when he lifted heavy equipment. The way he laughed with the construction workers, treating everyone with equal respect. The way he listened to Patricia's design ideas and then asked Tamara's opinion before making decisions. He was different from any man she'd known. He didn't try to take over or assert dominance. He collaborated. He made space for her voice. One afternoon, they were alone in the bakery painting the feature wall a deep maroon color. Vincent's hair was messy, his face smudged with paint. He looked more human than the polished businessman who had first walked through her door. Can I ask you something personal? Tamara said. Always. Why tech? How did you go from losing your mother to building a technology empire? Vincent dipped his brush in the paint tray, considering. My mother loved learning. She'd bring home library books and we'd read together. When she got sick, I started teaching myself computer programming from library books because I couldn't afford classes. I thought maybe I could build something to help her, some medical software. I was 12. I didn't understand how impossible that was. That's heartbreaking. It was. But after she died, I kept learning. It became my escape. By 16, I was freelancing. By 20, I had my first startup. By 30, I sold it for enough money to start Harper Technologies. He paused. But success felt empty. I had everything and nothing. Then I walked into your bakery and saw you holding that eviction notice, saw your daughter trying to be brave, and suddenly I remembered why any of it mattered. Tamara set down her paintbrush. You're a good man, Vincent Harper. I'm trying to be. His eyes held hers. You make me want to be better. The moment stretched between them, charged with possibility. Then Sophia's voice called from upstairs. Mama, can I come see? The spell broke. Tamara smiled. That child has timing. She really does, Vincent agreed, but he was smiling too. On the final day of renovation, Patricia gathered everyone for the reveal. She covered the windows and made them all wait outside while she set up. When she finally opened the door, Tamara gasped. It was perfect. The bakery had transformed into something that honored the past while embracing the future. Her mother's photos hung prominently on the maroon feature wall, professionally framed. The new display cases gleamed. The seating area felt cozy and inviting. The open kitchen concept let customers watch baking in action. Every detail had been considered. But the best part was the sign Patricia had commissioned. Above the counter, in beautiful script, it read, Grace's Legacy, baked with love by the Johnson family. Tamara broke down crying. Vincent put his arm around her shoulders. It's okay to be emotional. This is a big moment. My mama would have loved this, Tamara managed through tears. She would have loved seeing you thrive, Vincent said quietly. That night, after Sophia fell asleep, Tamara stood in the renovated bakery alone. She ran her hands over the smooth counters, breathed in the smell of new paint and old memories. Vincent had given her more than an investment. He'd given her hope. He'd given her a future. And somehow in the process he'd started giving her his heart. The reopening day arrived with morning sunshine and nervous energy. Tamara had been up since 4 a.m. baking. The new ovens were a dream, twice as efficient as her old ones. She'd made dozens of red velvet cupcakes, lemon bars, chocolate chip cookies, cinnamon rolls, bourbon pecan tarts, and her grandmother's famous sweet potato pie. Vincent arrived at 6 a.m. with coffee and encouragement. "You ready for this?" Terrified, Tamara admitted. She wore a bright blue dress that Sophia had picked out, saying it made her look happy. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. "Hey." Vincent caught her hands, steadying them. "You've got this. The hard part is over. Today is celebration." Patricia had arranged for a local news station to cover the reopening. A reporter named Jennifer Kim arrived at 8 a.m. with a camera crew. She interviewed Tamara about her mother's legacy, about nearly losing everything, about Vincent's investment. "Some people might call this a fairy tale," Jennifer said. "A wealthy benefactor saving a failing business. What do you say to that?" Tamara glanced at Vincent, who stood back with Sophia, letting her handle this moment. "I'd say it's not a fairy tale. It's what community is supposed to look like. People with resources helping those without. People recognizing potential and investing in it. Vincent didn't save me. He partnered with me. There's a difference." The interview aired on the noon news. By 1 p.m., when they officially opened the doors, there was a line down the block. The neighborhood showed up in force. Mrs. Chun from the laundromat next door bought 24 cookies for her customers. The Rodriguez family from 3 blocks over came with their 5 kids. Pastor Williams from the community church ordered pies for the Sunday social. Old customers Tamara thought she'd lost forever returned, apologizing for their absence and celebrating her comeback. Sophia worked the register, practicing her customer service skills and occasionally breaking into German to make people smile. Vincent stayed in the background, refusing to take credit, insisting this was Tamara's day. But Tamara noticed how people gravitated to him. How he remembered names after hearing them once. How he asked thoughtful questions and listened to the answers. The community didn't see a wealthy tech mogul. They saw someone who genuinely cared. By closing time, they'd sold out completely. The register was full. Tamara's feet ached but her heart soared. "We did it," she said to Vincent as they locked up. "You did it," he corrected. "This is your dream. I just helped build the stage." Sophia tugged Vincent's sleeve. "Mr. Vincent, you're supposed to take Mama on that date now. The bakery is fixed. You promised." Vincent laughed. "Your daughter is a very effective accountability partner. She gets it from her grandmother," Tamara said, smiling. They planned the date for Sunday evening. Patricia agreed to watch Sophia, insisting Tamara deserved a night off. Tamara spent Saturday afternoon trying on every outfit she owned, feeling like a teenager again. Sunday evening, Vincent picked her up in his car, a normal sedan, not the luxury vehicle she'd half expected. He wore jeans and a green button-down shirt that brought out his eyes. "You look beautiful," he said when she answered the door in a red sundress. "You clean up nice yourself," Tamara replied. They drove to Riverside Park, where Vincent had set up a surprise. A simple picnic by the water. Blanket, basket, candles and glass jars. No fancy restaurant, no showing off. Just quiet and personal. "I wanted somewhere we could actually talk," Vincent explained as they settled on the blanket. "Not somewhere loud where we have to yell over crowds." He'd packed sandwiches from a local deli, fresh fruit, cheese and chocolate. They ate and talked as the sun set over the river, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. "Tell me about your sister," Tamara said. "You mentioned her before but never in detail." Vincent's expression softened. "Rachel. She's 32, 5 years younger than me. She's a social worker in Seattle. After our mother died, I basically raised her. Made sure she finished school, went to college. She's the best person I know. She's lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have her. She keeps me grounded. Calls me out when I get too caught up in work." Vincent smiled. "She's actually coming to visit next month. She's dying to meet you and Sophia. You told her about us?" "Of course. You're a big part of my life now." Vincent's eyes met hers. "Tamara, I need you to know something. This, between us, it's not part of the business arrangement. I don't want you to feel obligated or think my investment is contingent on anything personal." "I know that," Tamara said quietly. "I can tell the difference between someone with an agenda and someone who genuinely cares." "Good." Vincent reached for her hand. "Because I do care. More than I expected to. You and Sophia have changed my life. You've reminded me what matters. Building wealth is fine, but building connections, building something meaningful with people you care about, that's what actually fulfills you." Tamara's throat tightened with emotion. "Sophia's father used to say I was too much. Too emotional, too focused on the bakery, too attached to my mother's memory. He made me feel like I was failing at everything. He was wrong, Vincent said firmly. You're not too much. You're exactly right. Your passion for your mother's legacy is beautiful. Your dedication to Sophia is inspiring. Your capacity to keep fighting even when everything seemed hopeless is extraordinary. A tear slid down Tamara's cheek. How are you real? Vincent wiped the tear away gently. I could ask you the same thing. Do you know how rare it is to meet someone who values family and legacy over profit? Who teaches their child German just because their mother wanted to pass on that heritage? Who bakes with love instead of just following recipes? Sophia said you have sad eyes like ours, Tamara said. She was right. We're all a little broken, aren't we? Maybe. But maybe broken things can heal together. Vincent leaned closer. Can I kiss you? Tamara's heart raced. Yes. The kiss was soft, tentative, full of promise. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. They stayed by the river until stars appeared. They talked about everything. Childhoods and dreams, failures and hopes, fears and possibilities. Tamara couldn't remember the last time someone had listened to her so completely. Vincent made her feel seen, valued, important. When he drove her home, Sophia was waiting up despite Patricia's best efforts. How was the date? Perfect, Tamara said honestly. Did he kiss you? Sophia demanded. Sophia. Vincent laughed. Yes, I did. With your mother's permission. Is that okay with you? Sophia considered this seriously. Yes. You make Mama smile. That's what matters. After Vincent left, Tamara put Sophia to bed and then stood at her window looking at the bakery below. 2 months ago, she'd been ready to lose everything. Now she had a thriving business and someone who made her believe in love again. She pulled out her phone and texted Vincent, "Thank you for tonight. For everything." His response came immediately, "Thank you for giving me a reason to remember what matters. Sleep well, Tamara." She fell asleep smiling, hope and possibility wrapping around her like a warm blanket. The weeks after their first date unfolded like a dream Tamara was afraid to wake from. Vincent became a constant, comfortable presence in their lives. He'd stop by the bakery before work, always with coffee for Tamara and a silly joke for Sophia. He'd return in the evenings to help close up, rolling his sleeves and washing dishes alongside Tamara while Sophia did homework at a corner table. The bakery continued thriving. Word spread about Grace's legacy. Food bloggers featured Tamara's red velvet cupcakes. The local paper ran a follow-up story. People came from across Portland to try her bourbon pecan tarts. Within 6 weeks, Tamara hired 2 part-time employees, Nicole, a culinary student at the community college, and James, a retired baker who missed the work. Having help changed everything. Tamara could actually breathe. She could take Sophia to the park after school. She could experiment with new recipes without the panic of falling behind. She could have a life beyond survival. Vincent was careful never to overstep. He offered business advice when asked but didn't push. He showed up consistently but respected boundaries. He included Sophia in their time together but also made sure Tamara knew he wanted her for herself, not just as a package deal. Though Sophia is pretty great, he admitted one evening as they watched her teach James some German phrases. She's smart and kind. You're raising an amazing human. I'm trying, Tamara said. Some days I worry I'm messing her up. Single-parent guilt is real. You're doing better than most 2-parent households I know. Vincent's hand found hers. She's confident, compassionate, multilingual, and has a strong moral compass. That's all you, Tamara. These small moments of affirmation meant everything. Sophia's father had only criticized. He'd pointed out Tamara's failures and walked away. Vincent celebrated her successes and stayed. One Saturday, Vincent invited them to his house for the first time. Tamara had imagined a sterile modern mansion, all glass and chrome. Instead, they pulled up to a comfortable craftsman-style home in a tree-lined neighborhood. Not small but not ostentatious either. It felt like a home, not a showpiece. "This is where you live?" Sophia asked, eyes wide. "This is it. Come on, I'll give you the tour." Inside was warm and lived in. Family photos on the walls, his sister Rachel's artwork displayed prominently, books everywhere. The kitchen was clearly well used, not just for show. Tamara relaxed immediately. Vincent had set up a baking station in the kitchen. Ingredients measured out, recipes printed, aprons waiting. "I thought we could bake together. Sophia can teach me properly this time." They spent the afternoon making cookies. Vincent was terrible at it, adding salt instead of sugar at one point, somehow getting flour in his hair. Sophia found this hilarious. Tamara found herself laughing harder than she had in years. "You're hopeless," she teased, rescuing a batch from burning. "I'm hopeless at baking," Vincent agreed. "But I'm very good at taste testing. That's an important role." After baking, they watched a movie curled up on Vincent's comfortable couch. Sophia fell asleep between them halfway through. Vincent carefully lifted her and carried her to his guest room, settling her on the bed with a gentleness that made Tamara's heart ache. "You're good with her," Tamara said when he returned. "She makes it easy." Vincent sat close to Tamara, close enough that their shoulders touched. "Can I be honest about something?" "Always." "I'm falling in love with you." The words came out quiet but certain. "I know it's fast. I know we agreed to take things slow. But I've never felt like this before. You and Sophia, you've become the best part of my days. I wake up thinking about you. I go to sleep thinking about you. And I needed you to know." Tamara's heart hammered. Every instinct screamed to protect herself, to not trust this, to remember that men leave. But looking at Vincent, seeing the vulnerability in his eyes, she couldn't lie. "I'm falling in love with you too," she whispered. "And it terrifies me." "Why?" "Because I can't afford to be wrong again. Last time I trusted someone, he left me pregnant and alone. I can't put Sophia through that. I can't put myself through that." Vincent took both her hands. "I understand that fear. But Tamara, I'm not him. I don't make promises I can't keep. I don't start things I won't finish. When I commit fully. And I'm committed to you. To Sophia. To building something real and lasting." "How can you be sure?" "Because I've spent my adult life building a company from nothing. I know the difference between a fleeting interest and something worth investing everything in. You're worth investing everything in." Tamara kissed him then, pouring all her hope and fear and love into it. When they broke apart, both were breathless. "I want this," Tamara said. "I want to try. Really try. Then we will. Together." They talked until midnight, making plans and dreaming about futures. Vincent wanted to meet Tamara's sister in Atlanta, wanted his sister Rachel to meet Sophia, wanted to take them all on a trip to the coast. He talked about expanding the bakery, maybe franchising the model to help other struggling bakers. He talked about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, always including Tamara and Sophia in those visions. When Tamara finally drove home with sleeping Sophia in the back seat, she felt light. For so long, life had been about survival. Now it was about living. The next morning at the bakery, Vincent showed up with flowers. Sunflowers, bright and cheerful, Tamara's favorites, though she'd never told him. "How did you know?" "Sophia mentioned it," Vincent admitted. "I've been taking notes." James and Nicole exchanged knowing looks. The neighborhood had quickly figured out that something was developing between Tamara and Vincent. People approved. They'd watched Tamara struggle for years. They liked seeing her happy. Mrs. Chun from the laundromat stopped by with her grandson that afternoon. "Miss Tamara, my grandson wants to meet Mr. Vincent. He says his teacher told their class about the bakery story. About second chances and community support." Vincent crouched down to talk to the 8-year-old boy, answering questions with genuine interest. Later, he told Tamara, "That's what wealth should do. Inspire people. Show them what's possible. Not intimidate or exclude." "You're changing this neighborhood," Tamara observed. "We're changing it," Vincent corrected. "Your bakery is the heart of it. I'm just helping amplify what you started." That evening, after closing, Vincent helped Tamara prep for the next day. They worked in comfortable silence, moving around each other easily, falling into rhythms. It felt domestic. It felt right. "My sister is coming next month," Vincent said. "I want you and Sophia to have dinner with us. Is that okay?" "More than okay," Tamara said. "I'd love to meet her. She's going to love you both. I've told her so much about you." Vincent paused in his work. "Tamara, I know we're taking this day by day. But I need you to know my intentions are serious. I'm not playing around. I'm in this for real." "I know," Tamara said softly. "I can feel it." "And Vincent? I'm in this for real too." He pulled her close, holding her tight. "We're going to build something beautiful. Not just the bakery. A life. A family." Tamara let herself believe it. Let herself hope. For the first time since Sophia's father left, she trusted that maybe happy endings were possible after all. 3 months into their relationship, Tamara woke up one morning and realized she couldn't remember the last time she'd cried from stress. The bakery was profitable. Sophia was thriving. And Vincent had become as essential as breathing. He'd kept every promise. He showed up consistently. He respected boundaries. He loved Sophia without trying to replace her father or overstep. He treated Tamara as an equal partner in both business and life. The neighborhood had fully embraced him. Vincent had started a small business mentorship program through his company, offering free consulting to struggling local shops. He'd helped the Rodriguez family expand their restaurant. He'd connected Mrs. Chen with suppliers to reduce her laundromat costs. He'd funded new computers for the community center. "You're turning into Portland's favorite philanthropist," Tamara teased one evening. "I'm just doing what makes sense," Vincent replied. "I have resources. Others need them. Why hoard what I can share?" This was the man she'd fallen completely in love with. Not the wealthy businessman who'd first walked through her door, but the person underneath. The one who sat on her kitchen floor helping Sophia with science projects. The one who learned to bake chocolate chip cookies halfway decently. The one who held Tamara when she had nightmares about losing everything again. In return, Tamara had helped Vincent remember how to live. His sister Rachel had told Tamara during her visit, "I haven't seen my brother this happy in 15 years. He was so focused on success that he forgot about joy. You and Sophia brought joy back." Rachel had been wonderful. A tall woman with Vincent's dark hair and sharp intelligence, but warmer, more outwardly emotional. She'd bonded with Sophia immediately, teaching her card games and listening to her ramble about school. She'd hugged Tamara tight and whispered, "Thank you for loving my brother. He deserves this." The four of them had spent a weekend together exploring Portland. Vincent had watched his sister and Sophia with such happiness that Tamara had teared up. "This is what family looks like," he'd said quietly. "I haven't had this since our mother died." Now, as summer approached, their lives had settled into a beautiful routine. Mornings at the bakery, Sophia helping before school. Afternoons with Nicole and James running things while Tamara picked Sophia up and they spent time together. Evenings with Vincent, sometimes at the bakery, sometimes at his house, sometimes just walking through the neighborhood. Vincent had started teaching Sophia basic coding. "If she's this good with languages, she'll be amazing with programming languages too," he explained. Sophia took to it naturally, creating simple games and animations that she proudly showed her mother. "I'm going to work with computers like Mr. Vincent," Sophia announced. "But I'll also bake like you, Mama. I can do both." "You can do anything you want," Tamara assured her. One Saturday Vincent took them to the coast. They drove 2 hours to Cannon Beach, where Sophia had never been. She ran through the waves, collected shells, and insisted on building the world's largest sandcastle. Vincent helped, taking her architectural directions seriously. Tamara watched from a blanket, heart full to bursting. This was the life she'd dreamed of when Sophia was born. A partner who showed up. A child who felt safe and loved. Simple happiness that didn't require wealth, just presence. Vincent jogged over, sandy and grinning. "Your daughter is a demanding project manager. She's critiquing my turret building skills." "She gets that from her grandmother," Tamara laughed. Vincent sat beside her, catching his breath. "I love this. I love her. I love you. I love us." "I love us too," Tamara said. "I want to make this permanent." Vincent's voice got serious. "I want to be in Sophia's life officially. I want to be in your life officially. I know it's been just a few months, but when something is right, you know." Tamara's pulse quickened. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I want forever with you. I want to adopt Sophia, give her my name if she wants it, be her father in every way that matters. I want to marry you, build a life together, grow old together." Vincent pulled a small box from his pocket. "I'm saying I bought this ring 2 weeks ago and have been carrying it around waiting for the perfect moment, but then I realized every moment with you is perfect." He opened the box. Inside was a simple gold band with a single diamond. Beautiful but not ostentatious. Exactly Tamara's style. "Tamara Johnson, will you marry me? Will you let me be Sophia's father? Will you build this life with me?" Tears streamed down Tamara's face. "Yes. Yes to all of it." Vincent slid the ring on her finger, then kissed her deeply. From the beach, Sophia shouted, "Did she say yes?" "She said yes," Vincent called back. Sophia sprinted over, sand flying. "Really? You're going to be my dad." "If you want me to be," Vincent said seriously. Sophia threw herself at him, hugging tight. "I want that. I really want that." They sat on the beach as the sun set, the three of them huddled together. Tamara felt her mother's presence so strongly. Grace would have loved this. Would have loved Vincent. Would have been so proud of how Tamara had fought and survived and finally found happiness. That night, back in Portland, they stopped by the bakery. Tamara wanted to see it, wanted to remember how far they'd come. The building glowed in the streetlights. Through the window she could see the photos of her mother on the wall. "Thank you," Tamara said to Vincent. For what? For walking through that door. For taking a chance on us. For keeping your promises. For loving us. Thank you for letting me, Vincent replied. You saved me as much as I saved you. Maybe more. Sophia yawned hugely. Can we go home? I want to call Aunt Rachel and tell her the news. They drove to Tamara's apartment, which suddenly felt too small for their expanding family. Vincent must have noticed because he said, we should look at houses. Somewhere with a yard for Sophia. Space for all of us. You want to live together? Tamara asked. I want everything together, Vincent said. If you're ready. I'm ready, Tamara said. I'm so ready. That night, after Sophia called Rachel, who screamed with joy, and after they'd tucked her into bed, Tamara and Vincent sat on the couch making plans. Wedding details, adoption paperwork, house hunting, the future. I want to expand the bakery model, Tamara said. I've been thinking about what you said. About helping other struggling bakers. I want to create a program. Training, mentorship, startup capital. I want to pass forward what you gave me. Vincent's eyes lit up. That's brilliant. We could start a foundation. Use my company's resources to identify candidates. Create a whole network of supported bakeries. They talked until midnight, dreaming bigger than Tamara had ever allowed herself to dream. With Vincent, everything felt possible. As she drifted to sleep that night, ring on her finger, Tamara sent up a silent prayer to her mother. I did it, Mama. I kept your bakery alive. And I found love. Real love. The kind that lifts you up instead of weighing you down. I hope you're proud. She could almost hear her mother's voice. I'm always proud of you, baby girl. Always. The engagement announcement spread through the neighborhood like warm honey. Mrs. Chun brought congratulations flowers. The Rodriguez family threw an impromptu celebration at their restaurant. Pastor Williams asked to officiate the wedding. The community that had watched Tamara struggle now celebrated her joy. Vincent's business associates were politely confused. Several had asked why he was marrying a baker, as if Tamara's worth was measured only in financial terms. Vincent had cut off those relationships without hesitation. Anyone who can't see Tamara's value isn't someone I need in my life, he'd said firmly. 2 weeks after the proposal, Vincent brought Rachel back to Portland to celebrate properly. His sister arrived at the bakery with a huge grin and an even bigger hug for Tamara. Let me see the ring, Rachel demanded. She examined it, then hugged her brother. You did good. Simple but perfect. Very Tamara. That was the goal, Vincent said. Rachel had brought gifts. For Sophia, a coding book for kids and a stuffed animal penguin. For Tamara, a framed photo from their beach trip, the moment after the proposal when the three of them had hugged. How did you get this? Tamara asked, tearing up. I asked Vincent to send me photos from that day. I wanted to capture the moment your family became official. Rachel's eyes were wet too. I'm so happy for you both. That evening they all went to Vincent's house for dinner. Rachel insisted on cooking, claiming it was her specialty. She made her mother's recipe for pot roast, sharing stories about their childhood as they ate. Mom used to say that family is what you build, not just what you're born with, Rachel said. She'd have loved you and Sophia so much, Tamara. You're exactly the kind of person she'd want for Vincent. I wish I could have met her, Tamara said. She's here in spirit, Rachel replied. I feel her presence in this. The way you two found each other, the way Sophia fits so perfectly into our family, it feels like Mom's hand guiding things. After dinner, Rachel pulled Tamara aside. Can we talk? Just us. They went to Vincent's back porch, sitting on the steps under the stars. Rachel was quiet for a moment, then said, I need you to know what you've done for my brother. Vincent has always taken care of everyone else. After Mom died, he raised me. He worked multiple jobs to keep us afloat. He built his company not for luxury but for security so we'd never be that vulnerable again. But he never took care of himself. Never let anyone take care of him. He deserves to be cared for, Tamara said. He does. And you do that. You see him, not his money. You challenge him to be better. You've given him something to come home to besides empty success. Rachel took Tamara's hand. I'm trusting you with my brother's heart. Please don't break it. I won't, Tamara promised. He's too important to me. To us. Good. Because you're stuck with me as a sister now. Rachel smiled. And I'm very protective. I'd expect nothing less, Tamara said, smiling back. The next day, Vincent took them to his company's headquarters. Harper Technologies occupied 3 floors of a downtown building. Employees greeted Vincent warmly, clearly respecting him as a boss. He introduced Tamara and Sophia to everyone they passed, pride evident in his voice. In his office, which had a stunning view of the city, Vincent showed them the charitable foundation he'd mentioned. "This is what I wanted to share with you. Harper Foundation has been funding scholarships and small business grants for 5 years. But I want to expand it. Add a specific program for food entrepreneurs. Bakeries, restaurants, food trucks. And I want you to help run it, Tamara." "Me?" Tamara's eyes widened. "You understand what struggling food businesses need because you lived it. You know the community. You have the perspective I lack." Vincent pulled up plans on his computer. "We'd identify candidates, provide capital, mentorship, business training. Everything I did for you but systematized. We could help dozens of people." Tamara felt overwhelmed. "Vincent, I'm still learning to run one bakery successfully. Which makes you perfect. You remember what it's like to struggle. You won't lose touch with that reality." Vincent turned to face her fully. "You don't have to decide now. But I want you to know I see you as more than my fiancé. You're smart, capable, and you have insights that could change lives. I value your mind as much as I love your heart." This was why Tamara loved him. He saw her potential, believed in her capabilities, trusted her judgment. Sophia's father had made her feel small. Vincent made her feel powerful. "Can I think about it?" Tamara asked. "Take all the time you need," Vincent assured her. That evening back at the apartment, Sophia was unusually quiet. Tamara found her in her room, staring at her homework without actually doing it. "What's on your mind, baby?" Sophia looked up. "If Mr. Vincent adopts me, will I have to stop calling you Mama? Will I have to call him Dad?" Tamara sat on the bed, pulling Sophia close. "You never have to call anyone anything you're not comfortable with. Vincent becomes your dad legally, but what you call him is your choice. And I'll always be your mama. Nothing changes that." "But what about my other dad? The one who left?" This was the conversation Tamara had been dreading. "Your biological father chose not to be in your life. That's his loss, not your fault. Vincent is choosing to be your father. That's different. Special. What do you want to call Vincent?" Sophia considered this seriously. "I think Dad. Because that's what dads do. They show up. They care. They teach you things and make you laugh. That's Vincent." "Then Dad it is, if you're comfortable with that." "I am." Sophia paused. "Mama, are we really going to be okay forever now? Nobody's going to leave?" Tamara's heart broke and healed simultaneously. "Baby, I can't promise nothing bad will ever happen. Life doesn't work that way. But I can promise that Vincent and I are committed to this family. We're building something strong. Something that lasts." "Okay," Sophia said, satisfied. "Can I tell him I want to call him Dad? I think he'd love that." The next morning at the bakery, Sophia marched up to Vincent with determined purpose. "Mr. Vincent, I decided. When you adopt me, I want to call you Dad. Is that okay?" Vincent's eyes filled with tears. He crouched to Sophia's level. "That's more than okay. That's the best thing anyone has ever said to me." Sophia hugged him. "You're a really good dad already." Watching them, Tamara felt the final piece of her heart's puzzle slide into place. This was her family. Chosen, built, real. Not perfect but perfect for them. Vincent looked up at Tamara over Sophia's head, mouthing, "I love you." Tamara mouthed it back, knowing that love would be the foundation they'd build everything else on. And foundations built on love could weather any storm. Planning a wedding while running a successful bakery and co-developing a charitable foundation should have been overwhelming. Somehow, with Vincent's calm presence and the community's enthusiastic support, it felt joyful instead. Tamara and Vincent decided on a small ceremony. Neither wanted something elaborate. They wanted intimate, meaningful, focused on what mattered, their commitment and the family they were creating. "I want to get married in the bakery," Tamara said one evening. "Where it all started. Where you walked in and changed our lives." Vincent smiled. "I love that idea. Full circle." They set the date for 3 months away, early September. Enough time to finalize adoption paperwork and get everything organized, but not so long that waiting felt interminable. The adoption process moved surprisingly quickly. Vincent's lawyers were efficient, and since Sophia's biological father had abandoned all parental rights years ago, there were no legal obstacles. The court date was set for the same week as the wedding. "We're making everything official at once," Vincent said. "Marriage, adoption, family. All of it." Sophia was involved in every decision. She helped choose flowers, picked out her flower girl dress, a bright green that made her glow, and insisted on writing part of the ceremony herself. "I want to tell everyone why you're the best dad," she explained to Vincent. I have a whole speech planned. I can't wait to hear it, Vincent said, visibly moved. The neighborhood embraced the wedding preparations like a community project. Mrs. Chin offered to provide the flowers at cost. The Rodriguez family insisted on catering. Pastor Williams would officiate. James and Nicole promised to help decorate the bakery the night before. Patricia, the designer who had renovated the bakery, returned to help transform it into a wedding venue. We'll keep it open and beautiful, she said. Ceremony in the main space, reception using the seating area. It'll be magical. 2 weeks before the wedding, Rachel returned to Portland to help with final preparations. She stayed with Vincent but spent most of her time with Tamara, helping address invitations and organize details. You know Vincent is a wreck, right? Rachel said, laughing. He's terrified he'll cry through the whole ceremony. He probably will, Tamara said. I probably will too. Sophia definitely will. It's going to be very emotional. Good, Rachel said firmly. Weddings should be emotional. They're about love. Love deserves tears. The bakery continued thriving even amid wedding chaos. Word had spread about the upcoming ceremony, and customers were genuinely excited. People brought small gifts, offered help, shared their own wedding stories. The sense of community support was overwhelming. Vincent had finalized the foundation plans. They'd identified 5 food entrepreneurs in the Portland area to receive the first round of support. Tamara would officially join as co-director after the wedding. The paperwork was ready. The funding was allocated. They were going to change lives the way Vincent had changed hers. I'm nervous about the responsibility, Tamara admitted. What if I mess up? What if I give bad advice? You won't, Vincent assured her. And if you make mistakes, we'll learn and adjust. This is a journey. We're in it together. The day before the wedding, close friends gathered at the bakery to decorate. Vincent's business colleagues mixed with neighborhood families, everyone working together. Flowers were arranged, lights were strung, chairs were positioned. By evening, the bakery glowed with possibility. Vincent pulled Tamara outside for a moment alone. Tomorrow you become my wife. Sophia becomes my daughter legally. We become an official family. I want you to know I don't take any of this lightly. These vows, this commitment, this family, it's the most important thing I'll ever do. I know, Tamara said, holding him tight. I feel the same way. I've been thinking, Vincent continued. After the honeymoon, let's look at houses. Something bigger, with space for Sophia to grow, maybe space for more kids eventually if you want that. A real home for our family. More kids. Tamara's heart skipped. They'd never discussed this directly. Only if you want, Vincent said quickly. I know being a single parent was hard. I don't want to assume. But I'd love to have children with you. To give Sophia siblings. To build a bigger family. Tamara kissed him softly. I'd love that too. When we're ready. When Sophia's ready. But yes, I want that future with you. They stood outside the bakery as evening darkened into night, holding each other, feeling the weight and wonder of the commitment they were about to make. The wedding day arrived with perfect September sunshine. Tamara woke early, nerves and excitement tangling in her stomach. Rachel and Patricia arrived to help her get ready, styling her hair and makeup while Sophia watched, fascinated. Tamara wore a simple ivory dress, elegant but not elaborate. Rachel had lent her a pearl necklace that had belonged to their mother. Something borrowed, Rachel said, fastening it around Tamara's neck. Mom would want you to wear it. Are you sure? Tamara's eyes welled up. Completely sure. Your family now. What was hers is yours. At the bakery, guests were arriving. 50 people, small and intimate. Vincent's business friends, neighborhood families, church members, the bakery employees. Everyone who mattered. Vincent waited near the counter, wearing a navy blue suit that brought out his eyes. His sister had pinned their mother's favorite brooch to his lapel. He looked nervous and happy and perfect. Are you feeling the emotion of this moment? This family, built from struggle and hope, is about to become official. Subscribe and comment below about your own stories of finding love after hardship. Sometimes the best families are the ones we choose. The ceremony began with Pastor Williams welcoming everyone. He spoke about community, about love that lifts, about family formed through choice rather than obligation. Then he invited Sophia forward. The 8-year-old stood confidently, unfolding a piece of paper. I wrote something about Vincent, she began. When I was little, I used to wonder why I didn't have a dad like other kids. My mama told me that sometimes the people who are supposed to love you don't know how. But she promised that someday someone would love us right. Sophia looked at Vincent, who was already crying. Vincent loves us, right? He shows up every day. He helps with my homework. He teaches me coding. He makes my mama smile. He never makes promises he doesn't keep. He chose to be my dad, which is even better than just being born my dad. Because he wanted to be here. So today, when he marries my mama and adopts me, I'm not just getting a dad. I'm getting the best dad. And our family is going to be amazing. There wasn't a dry eye in the building. Vincent crouched down and hugged Sophia tightly. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm the lucky one. You and your mama are the best thing that ever happened to me. Pastor Williams cleared his throat emotionally. Well, I don't know how we follow that. But let's try. Vincent and Tamara, please join hands. The vows were simple and heartfelt. They promised partnership, respect, love, support. They promised to build a life that honored both their pasts and embraced their future. They promised to protect what they created and to always choose each other. When Pastor Williams pronounced them married, the small crowd erupted in cheers. Vincent kissed Tamara deeply, then swept Sophia into a hug, the three of them together. The reception was perfect. The Rodriguez family had prepared incredible food. People danced in the small space between tables. Sophia taught several guests German phrases. Rachel gave a toast that made everyone cry again. Late in the evening, as guests were leaving, Vincent pulled Tamara aside. He handed her an envelope. I wanted to give you this privately. Inside was paperwork. Adoption finalization. Effective immediately, Sophia was legally Sophie Harper, daughter of Vincent Harper. But there was more. Paperwork establishing a college fund in Sophia's name. Paperwork adding Tamara as co-owner of Vincent's house. Paperwork making her an official co-director of Harper Foundation. You're my partner in everything now, Vincent said. What's mine is yours. What I build is ours. This family is equal. True partnership. Tamara couldn't speak through her tears. She just held the papers and nodded. As the evening ended, the three of them stood in the bakery alone. Their bakery. Their family's business. The place where everything had started with one impossible offer and 3 cupcakes. We did it, Tamara whispered. We really did, Vincent agreed. Sophia, now officially Sophia Harper, looked at her parents. Can we go home now? I'm tired. Let's go home, Vincent said, taking her hand. He took Tamara's hand with his other. Let's go home together. They walked out of the bakery, now a family in every way that mattered, ready for whatever came next. The honeymoon was a simple trip to the Oregon coast, the three of them together. Vincent had wanted to whisk Tamara away somewhere exotic, but she'd insisted on including Sophia. We're a family now. We do things together. They spent 5 days in a beach cottage, walking on sand, collecting shells, teaching Sophia to paddleboard. It wasn't glamorous, but it was perfect. No business calls, no bakery stress, just the three of them learning to be a family unit. On the last evening, as Sophia slept in the cottage, Tamara and Vincent sat on the porch watching stars. I've been thinking about the foundation, Tamara said. I want to add something to the program. Not just capital and mentorship, but community building. Teaching people to support each other the way our neighborhood supported us. Vincent squeezed her hand. Tell me more. They talked late into the night, refining ideas, dreaming bigger. By the time they went to bed, they had the framework for an expanded program that would change the Portland food scene. Returning home felt different now. They went to Vincent's house, which was now officially Tamara and Sophia's home too. Over the next month, they moved Tamara's belongings from the apartment, slowly transforming Vincent's bachelor space into a family home. Sophia picked out paint colors for her new room. Vincent built her a reading nook by the window. Tamara reorganized the kitchen to accommodate her baking experiments. They adopted a dog, a gentle golden retriever named Honey, who became Sophia's constant companion. The bakery continued flourishing under James and Nicole's capable management during Tamara's reduced hours. She still came in daily, but now could leave early to spend time with Sophia after school. The work-life balance she desperately needed was finally achievable. Harper Foundation launched its food entrepreneur program in November. The 5 selected candidates were diverse. A Vietnamese woman wanting to open a pho restaurant, a young black man with a taco truck dream, a retired teacher starting a pie shop, a disabled veteran building a sandwich business, and a single mother planning a soul food cafe. Tamara met with each one individually, sharing her story, offering advice, listening to their dreams and fears. She saw herself in every face. The desperation, the hope, the determination. She understood viscerally what they needed to succeed. You're amazing at this, Vincent told her after observing a mentorship session. You connect with people in a way I never could. You make them feel seen and valued. Because I remember what it felt like to be invisible, Tamara said. To work so hard and have no one notice or care. I won't let that happen to them. The program provided each entrepreneur with $50,000 in startup capital, 6 months of intensive mentorship, free legal services, and connection to Vincent's business network. But more importantly, it connected them to each other. They formed a support group, meeting weekly to share challenges and celebrate wins. By December, 3 of the 5 businesses had opened. The Vietnamese restaurant became a neighborhood fixture within weeks. The taco truck earned write-ups in food blogs. The pie shop's holiday sales exceeded projections. Success was building. At home, Sophia was thriving. Her grades remained excellent, her German fluency continued improving, and her coding skills impressed Vincent's colleagues when he occasionally brought her to the office. She'd also made a best friend at school, a girl named Priya who shared her love of languages and baking. Can Priya come over? Sophia asked regularly. The answer was always yes. Vincent and Tamara wanted their home filled with laughter and life. For Christmas, they hosted both Rachel and Tamara's sister DeAndrea, who flew in from Atlanta with her 2 kids. The house overflowed with family, noise, joy. DeAndrea pulled Tamara aside at one point, tears in her eyes. I'm so proud of you, DeAndrea said. You held on when everything was falling apart. You fought for Sophia. You kept Mama's legacy alive. And you found real love. You deserve all of this. I couldn't have done it without the village, Tamara replied. The neighborhood, Vincent, you checking in on me, all of it. That's what family does, DeAndrea said. We hold each other up. On Christmas morning, Vincent surprised Tamara with architectural plans. I know we talked about finding a bigger house. But I had another idea. What if we build something? Design it exactly how we want it? Space for our growing family, a real home office for you, a yard for Sophia and Honey. We could stay in this neighborhood, near the bakery and the community we love. Tamara studied the plans, seeing the future laid out in blueprints. 4 bedrooms, big kitchen, office space, a yard with room for a garden. A home designed for the family they were and the family they hoped to become. When would we start? Tamara asked. Whenever you're ready, Vincent said. This year, next year, no rush. I just wanted you to know it's possible. We can build exactly what we want. That evening, after family had left and Sophia was asleep, Tamara told Vincent she was pregnant. She'd suspected for a week but wanted to be sure before saying anything. The test that morning had confirmed it. Vincent's face transformed with joy. Really? We're having a baby? We're having a baby, Tamara confirmed, laughing and crying simultaneously. He held her carefully like she was precious glass. When do we tell Sophia? Let's tell her together. Tomorrow morning. They did, presenting it as a family announcement. Sophia's eyes got huge. I'm going to be a big sister? You are, Vincent confirmed. What do you think? Sophia considered seriously, then broke into a huge smile. I think this family keeps getting better. And it did. The new year brought news that all 5 foundation businesses were succeeding. The pregnant single mother's soul food cafe became so popular that she hired 3 employees within months. The disabled veterans sandwich shop earned a contract with a local college. The success stories multiplied. Tamara's pregnancy progressed smoothly. She glowed with happiness, finally able to enjoy the experience instead of facing it alone with fear like she had with Sophia. Vincent attended every doctor's appointment, read parenting books seriously, and started building a crib with Sophia's help. In May, they broke ground on their new house. Sophia planted a small tree at the future front yard, ceremonially christening the space. This is where our family will grow, she said solemnly. In June, construction was well underway. The frame was up, walls were going in. They visited the site regularly, imagining their future there. And on a warm evening in July, as the sun set over Portland and the bakery prepared for another successful day, Tamara stood with her family, Vincent's hand in hers, Sophia chattering about her summer coding camp, her pregnant belly round and full, Honey prancing beside them. She thought about the eviction notice that had nearly destroyed her world 2 years ago. About the impossible offer from a stranger. About the journey from desperation to joy. What are you thinking about? Vincent asked softly. About how far we've come, Tamara said. About how love and hope and kindness really do win if you hold on long enough. About how grateful I am for every moment of this. Vincent pulled her close, one hand on her belly where their new baby grew. Me too. Every single moment. They stood together as evening deepened, a family built on courage, choice, and commitment. A family that proved second chances were real and happy endings were possible. A family that would continue growing and loving and showing that sometimes the most beautiful stories start with the most difficult moments. 6 months after construction began, the new house was finished. A beautiful craftsman-style home with a wide porch, big windows, and the heart of a family poured into every detail. They moved in during a September weekend, neighbors helping carry boxes, Sophia directing traffic like a tiny general. The nursery was painted a soft yellow, gender-neutral and bright. Vincent had built the crib himself, a labor of love that took him 3 months. Tamara's grandmother's quilt hung on the wall, connecting generations. Sophia's room overlooked the backyard. She'd chosen lavender walls and had already covered them with maps of countries whose languages she was learning. Her coding textbooks lined the shelves next to baking cookbooks. She was becoming the perfect blend of her parents. In October, Tamara went into labor 3 weeks early. Vincent drove calmly to the hospital while Sophia chattered nervously from the back seat, asking questions about whether the baby would like her, whether she'd be a good big sister, whether they'd teach the baby German. "You'll be the best big sister," Tamara promised through contractions. "Just like you're the best daughter." Rachel arrived at the hospital within hours, having jumped on the first flight from Seattle. DeAndrea video called every 30 minutes for updates. The bakery staff sent flowers. The community held its collective breath. At 2:47 a.m. on October 13th, Thomas Vincent Harper entered the world. 7 pounds, healthy lungs, his father's dark hair and his mother's brown eyes. Vincent cried holding his son for the first time. Tamara cried watching Vincent cry. Sophia cried because everyone else was crying, then declared her baby brother was perfect. "He looks like a Thomas," Sophia said seriously, studying the baby. "Strong and smart. Hello, Thomas. I'm your big sister. I'm going to teach you everything." They stayed in the hospital for 2 days, learning to navigate life as a family of 4. Vincent barely slept, just watched Thomas and Tamara with wonder. He'd helped raise his sister, but having his own child was different. This was his son. His family. His entire heart in human form. Coming home was chaos and joy. Honey was confused by the tiny crying human but protective, stationing herself near the nursery. Neighbors brought meals. The bakery sent a celebration cake. Rachel stayed for 2 weeks to help with the transition. Sophia took her big sister role seriously. She helped with diaper changes, sang to Thomas in German, and kept detailed notes about his sleeping and eating patterns. "I'm going to teach him to code when he's older," she announced. "And to bake. And definitely German." "He's lucky to have you," Vincent told her. The first months of Thomas's life were sleepless and wonderful. Tamara took maternity leave from the bakery and foundation, focusing on her baby and recovering from birth. Vincent worked from home as much as possible, refusing to miss moments with his son. In December they celebrated Thomas's first Christmas, the house full of family again. DeAndrea and her kids, Rachel, and even some of Vincent's business colleagues who'd become genuine friends. The community that had supported them through everything gathered to celebrate the newest member. "This is what I dreamed of," Tamara told Vincent late that night, baby Thomas asleep in her arms. "Not the house or the success, though those are wonderful. But this. Family. Love. Security. Sophia having a little brother. All of us together. We built something real," Vincent agreed. "Not just the business or the foundation but this family. This life." In January the Harper Foundation announced its expansion. Thanks to the success of the initial 5 businesses, they were funding 10 new food entrepreneurs. The program had attracted attention from other cities wanting to replicate the model. Tamara would return to work in March as co-director, with flexible hours to accommodate motherhood. The bakery continued thriving under James and Nicole's management. They'd become full partners in the business with Vincent's blessing. "They deserve ownership stake," he told Tamara. "They helped build this success." One February morning, Tamara bundled Thomas into his stroller and walked to the bakery. Nicole had texted that someone wanted to meet her. Inside she found a young woman, maybe 25, nervously holding a folder. "Mrs. Harper?" the woman said. "My name is Bethany. I read about your story. About how Mr. Harper helped save your bakery. I'm in the same situation you were. Failing bakery, single mom, about to lose everything. I applied to the Harper Foundation program and they said I should talk to you directly." Tamara's heart squeezed. She saw herself in this young woman's frightened eyes. "Come sit. Tell me your story." They talked for 2 hours. Bethany's bakery specialized in gluten-free items, serving a community need but struggling with marketing and capital. She had a 5-year-old son. She'd been working 3 jobs. She was drowning. "I'm going to help you," Tamara said finally. "Not just through the foundation. I'm going to personally mentor you. We'll figure this out together." Bethany cried. "Thank you. Thank you so much." After she left, Tamara called Vincent. "We're doing this right. What you did for me, we're passing it forward. We're changing lives." "That was always the goal," Vincent said softly. "To make the help we receive mean something bigger. You're amazing, Tamara. Truly amazing." In March, Tamara officially returned to the foundation, bringing Thomas to the office in a carrier. Vincent's company had created an on-site childcare space, anticipating her needs. She worked 3 days a week, spending the other 2 with Thomas and Sophia. The balance felt right. She had her career, her family, her purpose. Nothing was perfect, there were hard days and exhausted nights and moments of doubt. But underlying everything was security. Love. Partnership. The knowledge that she wasn't alone. In April, they held a celebration at the original bakery. 1 year since the foundation launch. All 5 original entrepreneurs were present, along with the 10 new ones. Success stories abounded. The Vietnamese restaurant was opening a second location. The taco truck guy had been featured in a national food magazine. The pie shop was franchising. Tamara stood at the front of the gathering, Thomas in her arms, Sophia beside her, Vincent's hand in hers. 2 years ago, I was standing in this bakery holding an eviction notice, certain I'd lost everything. Then someone walked through that door and offered me hope. Not just money but genuine partnership. Belief in my potential. Trust in my abilities. She looked at Vincent, who was trying not to cry. That one moment changed everything. And now we get to be that moment for others. We get to offer hope, partnership, belief. That's the real success. Not the businesses we save but the lives we touch. The families we keep together. The dreams we help reality. Everyone applauded. People shared their own stories. The community Vincent and Tamara had built stretched beyond just the bakery or even Portland. They'd started something that could genuinely change how struggling entrepreneurs were supported. That evening back home they put the kids to bed together. Sophia read to Thomas in German while Vincent and Tamara watched from the doorway. Their family. Their life. Their happy ending that was really just a beautiful beginning. Later, sitting on their porch under the stars, Tamara leaned against Vincent's shoulder. "I never thanked you properly. For everything. For believing in us. For loving us. For building this life with us." "You thank me every day," Vincent said. "Every smile, every success, every moment of this family existing. That's all the thanks I need." "I love you," Tamara whispered. "I love you too. All of you. This family. This life. Everything we've built and everything we'll continue building." Inside, Thomas started fussing. Sophia called out, "Mama, he needs you." They went in together, parents to their children, partners to each other, proof that kindness and hope and love really do win. The bakery lights glowed down the street. Grace's legacy still standing, still thriving. A monument to perseverance and second chances. A reminder that sometimes the hardest moments lead to the most beautiful outcomes. And as Tamara picked up her son, surrounded by her family in the home they'd built together, she sent one final prayer to her mother. "We made it, Mama. We really made it." The answer came not in words but in feeling. A warmth that wrapped around her heart. Her mother's love, still present, still guiding. And Tamara knew with absolute certainty that everything they'd been through, all the struggle and pain and fear, had been worth it. Because they'd built something real. Something lasting. Something beautiful. A family. A legacy. A love that would endure for generations. And that, in the end, was the sweetest success of all.